Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be round 5 of my online Discord tournament, and it's going to be between Abyssal King on Dragonmaids versus Ejin Quest on Megalith Drytron. And I do apologize for not having uploaded the past couple of days here, but that's actually because I got my second COVID vaccine, which is pretty exciting, but my body did not necessarily have the best response to it, so I did have to spend a couple of days resting up in bed here. But we're back making videos, which is pretty great. And as usual, if you guys do want to play in the next tournament, signups are actually currently open right now, and they will be until tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to get your signups in by then if you're interested in playing. I will have all the information for you guys in the Discord server, which you can find in the link, or you can find the link to in the description box below as usual. But let's not waste any more time and get started with this matchup here without any further ado. So it looks like the Dragonmaid player there did win the RPS, and they're going to choose to go first in this match. So the opening hand for Dragonmaids going first is going to be World Legacy Guard Dragon, Droll Lockbird, Hospitality, Parlor, and 1-for-1. So I'd say this is a pretty solid hand overall. You have one of the Dragonmaid starters, a couple of Reborn cards to go with it, and 1-for-1 just in case things go really south or you just want more extenders, which is pretty good. We also see Droll in the main deck, so some hand traps or dedicated go second cards, which is always nice to see. And then the opening hand for Megalith Drytron going second is going to be Vendra, Battlelord, Pot of Prosperity, Gamma, Megalith Full, and Manju. So this hard hand is also pretty good. It doesn't have any Drytrons right now, but they can, of course, always try and dig with Prosperity. We see Gamma in the main deck, which is pretty interesting. So this might actually play a role here going second. And we also, of course, see the Vendra package, which has become pretty mainstream, at least into Lightning Overdrive, just as a way to kind of help fill the gaps where Benton has been missing, right? But we're going to kick things off with Dragonmaids. They're going to go and normal summon the Parlor and then use her effect. But that's actually going to be Gamma right away, which I guess is fair enough against pure Dragonmaids. But that's going to summon itself and drive it to negate the Parlor and destroy it. But we're going to see a follow-up 1-for-1, which is going to summon a copy of Black Metal Dragon. Because I don't believe there are any level 1 Dragonmaids. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there. But this is a pretty solid extender right here. So they're going to link off into Striker Dragon and then trigger actually both the effects of Striker and Black Metal. Alright, so they're going to grab Red MD and the Boot Sector launch. So I do wonder if they are actually playing Rockets or if they're playing just the Boot Sector, which we have seen in some builds prior. But we're going to see the Striker Dragon being banished for Red MD, and then Red MD effect is going to bring back the Parlor. They're then going to link summon a copy of Romulus and then use the Romulus effect for a copy of Dragon Ravine. They're going to be thinking here. Looks like they actually, in retrospect, didn't want to extend, but they're going to go for it anyways. So they're going to World Legacy Guard Dragon back the Parlor, and then turn that into a copy of Guard Dragon LP, and then they're going to move the LP with the World Legacy Guard Dragon. So I think I've just gone for, I guess, like a Seal Pass, which would have been like a lot more minimal, but it would have been also, I guess, safer against cards like Nibiru, but we obviously see there is no Nibiru here. We are going to see LP effect being used. That is going to be a summoning copy of Kitchen Dragonmaid. So Kitchen is going to grab a Chamber, and then they're going to pitch the Chamber. And then Pissy is going to be link summoned, and then that effect is going to be used to bring back the Red MD. They're then going to Hospitality, bring back the Chamber, and then use Chamber's effect for a copy of Changeover. And then from here, they're going to go and activate Dragon Ravine. They're going to pitch the Changeover for a copy of Router, so they are playing Rockets here. Router is going to search for Tracer, and then Changeover effect is going to bounce back the Chamber to add itself back to the hand. They're then going to activate the Changeover because Red MD happens to be a high-level dragon monster, so that's going to summon a copy of Shao. They're then going to link for a copy of Heretic Seal, and then go for a Boot Sector launch, and then use that effect to summon out a copy of Tracer from hand. And then Tracer effect is going to destroy World Legacy Guard Dragon for a Rocket Recharger. And then those two are going to turn into a copy of Borderlord Savage Dragon, which will be used to equip the Romulus and gain 2 counters. So they're going to pass from here. This is definitely strong for sure. Has a negate off of Shao, a negate off of Savage, and a bounce with Seal. So 3 interruptions, and Seal can be more follow-up. And there's also the standby phase effect of the Shao to bring back cards like Chamber or Parlor, which can be used for even more follow-ups. So this board looks pretty good for sure. Cypherms get banished in the end phase as well, and we're going to see a top deck Gamma for turn. So there is actually a Drytron without having to use Prosperity, which is pretty decent. But it's going to be very tough to break through this board. So standby phase, Shao is going to be activated. That's going to bring back the Chamber Dragonmaid, and then her effect is going to be used for a copy of the Tidying. This card is just super, super strong. Just in general, of course, but in this deck too, since you're always summoning back different Dragonmaids. Prosperity is going to come down. That's going to be negated by Savage, actually. So let's see what was banished there. We see Avamax, Anima, Curious, which is for the Battlelord combo, Tornado Dragon, which is pretty interesting, Dweller, and okay, so they are playing Instant Fusion as well for Millennium Eyes. So yeah, rank 4s are in here because like you can overlay Manju and Ophiel. So I wonder if Tornado Dragon's here for just like generic purposes, or if they're playing actually like artifacts, because you can search those off of Ben 10. But we're gonna see a normal summon of Manju, and then its effect is gonna resolve for a copy of Ben 10. And then they're gonna activate the Gamma in hand. That's going to tribute to the Ben 10. They're gonna negate and destroy that with Shell, and then we're gonna see how it's being summoned. So they actually summoned this to the zone that LP and Seal both point to. They could have actually summoned this like all the way in the left. That way LP can be used as like another follow-up play. But it's probably not going to matter too much. They're so far ahead. Benton does get to activate for a copy of Scythe, so they are playing the artifacts here. Which does make sense with the Tornado Dragon, I guess, as like a turn 1 play. But yeah, this is not looking too good for Megalith. Or sorry, for Drytrons. They don't have any more Drytron names. So this is going to pretty much be the extent of their plays. They can go to battle phase and then attack with Manju into Seal and then just concede. Fair enough. Yeah, they were just gonna Seal, bounce, and then grab the effect to get another monster. And they were just so far ahead at that point. So we're now gonna move into game 2, where it looks like the Drytron player is gonna opt to go first this time around. If you guys are enjoying this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this. But the opening hand for Drytron going first is gonna be Double Gamma, Manju, Drytron Nova, and Vendra Battlelord. So it's very interesting to see the Gammas being kept in going first here, because the Drytron restrictions unfortunately make it so you can't use this card in your own turn if you want to, of course, summon Drytrons, since Driver happens to be a vanilla monster that can be normal summoned or set. So that's pretty unfortunate, because this would otherwise be a great way to stop cards like Droll, but unfortunately not in this deck. However, we do see Nova plus Battlelord, which actually is full combo, so that's pretty good. And then the opening hand for Dragonmaids going second is going to be Nurse, Chamber, Tracer, Recharger, and Noctivision. So there's no hand traps or dedicated go second cards here, so it's going to be the full combo from Drytron. So we're going to see Nova being activated for a copy of Drytron Zeta. That's going to be linked away for a copy of Link Rebo. And then Zeta is going to tribute the Battlelord from hand to summon itself from the graveyard and pick up a copy of the Vendred Vitullo spell. I almost said field spell. But yeah, Revendred Evolution is the Vitullo spell. That's going to be activated to summon back the Battlelord from graveyard by milling a copy of Battlelord from the deck. And then looks like on summon, well, not on summon, but after it's summoned, it will be used on the field. And we didn't see what was called there in chat. I would assume monsters. But they're going to link summon a copy of Anima with the Zeta. They're kind of skipping a couple steps here, but they're going to enable all the different types for Curious here. So Curious and the Battlelord both get to trigger. So that's going to go ahead and mill a copy of Alpha. And then the Battlelord's going to mill the third copy of Battlelord to add a copy of Ben 10 from deck to hand. And then Curious gets to trigger as well to mill 3. So that's going to mill another Alpha and Zeta, as well as Bethor. That's actually a pretty bad mill in most cases, because you want to summon this card from the deck. So I do wonder if there's like a backup for this, because that's actually pretty unfortunate that they milled that. They're going to go ahead and Alpha. That's going to tribute Ben 10 to search a copy of Full. And then Ben 10 triggers for Manju. They're going to normal summon it and then grab a copy of Meteonis. And then they're going to activate Meteonis for a copy of Full. And then they're going to full add back Ben 10. They're then going to go ahead and use Full's effect, tributing the Ben 10 to summon out Ophiel from deck, triggering both Ophiel and the Ben 10 for Full and the artifact Scythe. Yeah, they're actually like not declaring anything in chat, so thankfully I actually kind of know these combo lines, because I have played this deck quite a bit after the ban list. But they're going to overlay for Tornado Dragon, and then they're going to set Scythe and pass. So this is level 6 right now, so normally you would have like a 6 plus the Megalith Full as a level 2 to go into Bethor, which is 8. But if they're only playing one Bethor, then it's already engraved, so it's kind of turned off right now. But regardless, I think Tornado Dragon's going to be pretty strong here to pop Scythe, and that'll kind of just be the end of it. We're going to see a top deck Parlor, so we just see a ton of dragons in this hand. Going to go ahead and use Tornado Dragon in the standby phase for Scythe, and then Scythe effect's going to trigger. So they're then going to go and normal summon the Chamber, and then use Chamber's effect for a copy of Hospitality. And then they're going to go and activate the Hospitality. That's going to summon out the Parlor from hand, and then mill a copy of Earnest. And then they're going to use the Parlor effect. Or sorry, they're going to mill Lore Part off the Hospitality, and then Earnest is going to be milled off of the Parlor. Or maybe not. Just kidding. They're going to use Parlor to... Okay, so they did this anyways. All right, they just, I guess, took it back for some reason. But they're going to try and go to battle phase, and we're going to see a full attempt to be activated. So that's going to go and summon... Yeah, there's no targets because Curious milled the Bethor. I was kind of wondering if there was like a second Bethor, because that would have been potentially decent. But, all right, so it looks like battle phase is going to be okay. They're going to use the Parlor in the battle phase to bounce itself back and summon back Lorpar. And let me just read this. Yeah, send from your deck to the grave. So yeah, it doesn't work like if your opponent mills a card. Just had to make sure about that. Chamber is also going to be used at the start of battle phase here. That's going to bounce itself to summon Ernest back. And then from here, they're going to attack into the full and then attack into the Tornado Dragon. End of battle phase, they're going to go and use Lorpar to bounce itself to summon back the Parlor. And then they're going to pass. So yeah, really not any interruptions here. It's going to be pretty good for the Drytron player. They draw a copy of Prosperity for turn. They're going to go and Alpha to tribute the full in hand. That's going to summon itself. And then they're going to Meteonis to go and add itself back. So they actually are out of targets for Alpha, it looks like, because they didn't search anything. They're going to go and use the Meteonis. That's going to tribute the Alpha and going to bring back the Megalith Full. The Full is going to add back the Bethor. Just going to try and pop the whole board here. Full is going to tribute itself, and that's going to summon up the Bethor, and that will be the end of game 2. These are pretty quick games, actually. I think whoever got to set up pretty much has the advantage in this matchup. But we're now going to move into game 3, where it looks like the Dragonmaid player is going to start things off. And before we get started with game 3, just want to shout out my patrons as usual. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Definitely means a lot to me. And if you guys are interested in supporting the channel via the Patreon, I will have a link to that in the description box below as well. But we're going to go ahead and look at the opening hands here. So the opening hand for Dragonmaids going first in game 3 is going to be Parlor, Recharger, Tiding, Drago, and 1-for-1. So this is a cool card to summon off of Seal because it locks both players from special summoning light or dark monsters, which is pretty much what the Drytrons happen to be. So that is pretty interesting as well. Sucks to draw it though. I think this hand's pretty good though. They have Parlor plus 1-for-1 again, which is pretty good. And then the opening hand for the Drytron player going second is going to be Lava Golem, Drytron Alpha, Cyber Emergency, Megalith Full, and Pot of Prosperity. This makes sense to play Lava Golem because it fits under the Drytron restrictions because it can't be normal or set. You can't really play Kaijus there because those can technically just be regular tribute summoned. But yeah, no other like hand traps or anything like that, so it's going to be up to what this Lava Golem can accomplish. Overall, the Drytron hand itself looks pretty solid though. So they're going to go ahead and normal summon the Parlor. That effect is going to send a copy of Changeover. They're then going to change over to bounce the Parlor and add itself back to the hand. They're then going to 1-for-1 pitch Recharger. That's going to summon a copy of Black Metal Dragon. And then Black Metal is going to turn into Striker. They're going to go ahead and grab both effects. So they're going to grab Boot Sector Launch and the Red Eyes of Darkness Metal Dragon. They're then going to change over to Fuse from the hand and summon a copy of Shao. And then Striker effect is going to pop itself to add back Recharger. And then Recharger effect is going to bring back the Red MD. And then Red MD effect is going to bring back the Parlor, excuse me. And then those two are going to be linked into a copy of the Heretic Seal. You're going to set Tiding and then pass. So pretty good for sure. We'll see exactly, because Lava Golem does trigger the Heretic Seal. So we'll see if they do decide to go and summon the Drago from the hand here off of this. So we're going to see Ophiel drawn for turn. Standby phase, Xiao is going to bring back the Parlor. And then Parlor effect is going to mill a copy of Chamber. They're going to Lava Golem here over the Seal and the Xiao. Seal effect is going to summon the Drago from hand. Yeah, there it is. So, yeah, unless if this Prosperity picks up a copy of Manju or something that could just run over the Drago, it's looking pretty good for Dragonmaid. So we're going to see the Emergency add a copy of Zeta from deck to hand. And then they're going to go and Prosperity for 6. Actually, even if they do have Manju, there is Tiding set. So I don't think it really matter too much. This looks really, really strong actually for the Dragonmaid player. But they didn't pick one up anyways. So unfortunately for them, that's not going to be the greatest case scenario here. So we are going to see the rest being put back to the bottom after picking up Benten. And that's going to be a pass. Yeah, so not really too much to be done there. We're going to see a top decked Monster Reborn. That is pretty solid. They're going to take 1,000 off the Lava Golem in standby phase, and then up. They were going to try and Reborn, but yeah, all their targets are light or dark, and they are under this Drago here. So they do have to get rid of it by some means. They're going to Tidying back the Emergency, because this can bounce from Graveyard. So they're going to bounce their own Drago, it looks like. And then they're going to go for Reborn. So they're going to Reborn the Red MD, and then Red MD is going to go ahead and bring back Shell, and this is actually already game. Wow. And they're going to go Battle Phase, Attack, and that is Game 3 going to Dragonmaid. So Dragonmaid's going to take the set 2-1, and that was pretty unexpected. I did not expect that game to go that way. But yeah, I guess this card really is just pretty much like an FTK against the Drytron deck, right? Because they don't really play too many normal summons. It's really just Manju, or like Diviner Post, Lightning Overdrive, right? So yeah, this card is just really, really solid there. But yeah, that's going to be it for this match. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.